And this should be a fun... Right off the bat, look at... Did I not make her a horseman? Did I forget to make her a horseman? I think I forgot to make her a horseman. Let's put 67 shocks on. Wow, oh my god, dude. Check this out. Alright, what is going on, my dudes? So we are back here today with another CCP early preview video, and this one is going to be on Jubilee. Now, if you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel, by the way, please do that if you haven't, you may have seen my YouTube community post where I already posted a very long, complicated, in-depth review of Jubilee, and if you haven't seen that, I'll post this right here on the screen. And some people were like, hey Mike, this is a really, really complicated review. Can you please make a simpler one in a video? And I said, yes, I will do that for you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing today. No, but actually, man, we're not going to be doing like a huge Jubilee review here in this video, but there is one mechanic that we're going to be focusing on the entire time, and there's something that I absolutely fell in love with this champion after I made my review. It's something that I had a suspicion was going to be really, really, really cool, and then when I finally got around to like testing it the way I wanted to test it, I was like, oh man, I was kind of blown away with it, man. Now, this isn't an everyday piece of utility, but when it comes in handy, it is so much fun, and it does have to do with her special one, all right? And not just the special one, but also, you know, why don't I just show you, alright? So we're here on this Caltrops lane, right? And also Bloodletting, increase the duration of bleed effects by 100%. So what happens when we make Jubilee a horseman? Well, of course, she's going to be 100% resistant to all bleeds, okay? So let's go ahead and do that up right here. And while we're at it, why don't we activate the pre-fight that makes the orange fireworks last a lot longer. So Jubilee has this interesting piece of utility that's very interesting to me, and that is on her special one. What it does is it purifies all of the damaging debuffs on Jubilee, and it turns them into, what do you call them? Shocks on the opponent. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to gain a bunch of shocks, a bunch. Alright, this is a bunch of shocks, and we're going to do this. Oh, look at that! We got a lot of shocks on the opponent now. Of course, it's a little annoying with Nightcrawler because she doesn't really have a way to counter his evade unless we make him switch there. Alright, I know that she has slow, but what I meant to say was that she can't make him not evade and also do a lot of damage, so I don't like how she switches her fireworks on every hit that she does. But look at all that shock, man. The shock is kind of good. So here's the thing when it comes to that shock, alright? Is that going to be, like, infinitely useful in this game? No, of course not, man. I mean, how often do we find Caltrops? Not too often, but how often do we find things like, I don't know, Biohazard? Pretty often, right? We see Biohazard every now and then, and of course we're not going to find ourselves with like 20 bleeds on the opponent, or on us, like we do here in this instance, of course. However, man, you know, it's going to be a nice little boost to your damage, just your overall damage over time, right? So let's check this out. We got a bunch going on here for sure. And let's toss this guy off. And she auto-blocked, but that's okay because we have a lot of shocks activated on Medusa. Let's see if this ends up killing her off, man. It might. It probably won't. I don't know why I thought that it might. Let's just go ahead and eat this just for fun. Let's eat all this damage. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, this is a great fight. Right? But yeah, man. So as you can see, the shocks, they're pretty potent, alright? Obviously, with Medusa, it got a little touchy there because she had that auto block, and then she did the special 2 into us, right? But we're kind of tearing through this lane pretty fast. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to heal before going into this next fight because we're going to be 100% resistant to the bleed, so we're going to have a lot of willpower healing as well. So I think we're doing just fine here. Basically, what I want to do is I want to push them up to just about a bar of power. Bait out that special attack while I have the orange pre-fight active, and now I just want to gain as much of these bleeds as I possibly can, man. And then I'm going to just parry. I'm going to let off a really big shock, and this is so far my favorite way to play her. I realize that this is not the most practical way to play her in the game, but what it kind of reminds me of is when you use Cable, for example, on Caltrops. I really like Cable on Caltrops a lot, when you just like play Quake style and you just stack up all of those degenerations on the opponent. So here, same thing, man. It's pretty much the same thing. Like, look at the shock. The shock is nice. It's kind of like a low-budget Nebula in a way, right? I mean, at this point, I didn't expect to be tearing through this lane this fast. But here we are at the last fight of the lane. The first fight of the lane was a Dark Hawk, by the way, and I just used him to ramp up Apocalypse, right? So yeah, man. But so far, this is going pretty much exactly how I planned. You know, this Mcoc might be a little annoying with his shield and whatnot. Definitely got to build up to our own special attack here. This should be good, though. All right, so at this point, does this guy not have Caltrops? He might not have Caltrops. All right, so this guy doesn't have Caltrops. That's kind of a bummer there, but that's kind of okay. It doesn't really matter. The point is, man, so this is a really, really fun piece of utility that I do want to play around with more with Jubilee. You know, she has some other things as well. She has the slow on her special one with her blue firework. She has the, or is it the pink firework? Not sure. The other firework reduces their ability, accuracy, and whatnot, and the orange one has like the, what do you call it? The more damage. So there are a couple of things that she can do, but she really reminds me of, like, and I don't like using this phrase, but she really reminds me of like jack of all trades, master of none. That's really what she reminds me of. I know a couple other people have already said that, but it's really just the best way to describe her. But this shock on nodes with the bleeds when you interact with her as a horseman is really fun. So I do want to play around with that in a couple other places. So I'm going to go ahead and get to some other places, and we'll be right back. If you've ever watched any of my Horseman videos, I'm sure you've seen me take on this Thor here, 6.4.1. There's Biohazard, Nanoplague, and Tunnel Vision and whatnot. And pretty much what we're going to do here with Jubilee is we're going to play this pretty much like a normal fight. And then if we get any bleeds on us, well, we're going to try and convert those guys into shocks when we possibly can. So we're pretty much going to be spamming the special one here in this fight. So that's, you know, we'll see how that does. We'll see how it interacts with her damage. At this point, we should have 4 shocks or 5 shocks, all right? Keep in mind, Thor, I believe, takes less damage from shock because he's like the thunder god and whatnot. They made that update. You know, so one thing about her as a horseman as well is that she has a 50% chance to gain a prowess effect on all of her basic hits, right? But pretty much as, what do you call it? As a horseman, that percentage is increased by 30%. So as you can see, man, that was a decent special one. It did about 18k. We also have the 50% prowess, the passive prowess from Apocalypse helping us out there as well. But so far, man, she's doing pretty good here on this lane. Against, yeah, she did really, really well. Like, that was honestly better than most horsemen do. So here's the thing, man. She has all this utility. And it really seems like the most noteworthy thing that Jubilee has is some pretty decent damage potential if all of her specials crit, and if you take advantage of like the shock damage over time like I'm doing right now. Without the shock damage over time, that fight would have been a lot longer for sure. So here, this is, in this fight, we could actually take advantage of the slow for sure. So that would actually be pretty cool. That would be a cool thing to test out. But, you know, we're just going to really focus on that shock damage over time here. As you can see, man, it is pretty potent. It really is pretty potent. If we happen to have a special one ready to go when the blue is active, then we might toss off that special one just to see how useful that slow really is. But honestly, I mean, he's almost dead. He's almost dead here. So this is, you know, she's hitting really hard, man. I mean, the prowess from Apocalypse absolutely helps. It really does. So I feel like Jubilee benefits a lot from being a horseman, especially in those situations when you find yourself with a bleed debuff. Because so far, my favorite thing about her is being able to take advantage of all of those bleeds and just turn them into big shock damage, man. So I called her a low-budget Nebula before, and I stand by that. I feel like she's a bit of a, she feels like a low-budget Nebula when you play her with the shocks and whatnot. But the damage, man, as a horseman, in these unique situations is impressing me. It's kind of like Cable, man. You know, Cable has good damage when there aren't a lot of bleeds to cheese, right? But I just like him so much more when I can, you know, cheese him with all those bleeds. So this, we're going to have 6 shocks on us. It's going to do some nice damage. We have a falter up, got to be careful of that. But pretty much the first special one, after the shocks all expire, watch, there's a little bit of burst damage there as well. It's kind of like Magneto in a way. So one reason why you're seeing this do so much damage throughout is because, poison. Every time I gotta get that poison on me. But one reason why you're seeing so much damage throughout these fights is because, kind of similar to how Magneto has those shrapnel bleeds, whenever a debuff expires on the opponent, they're gonna kind of like explode and do this energy damage, alright? So that's really cool, and that's how Magneto does a lot of his damage. So when you play Jubilee like this in these really interesting, weird situations, well, she's kind of like a mix of Cable, Magneto, and Nebula in like one big cheesy combination, if that makes any sense at all. But there's one more place I really want to try out this cheese technique, and we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so we have arrived at the place that I wanted to test her out, finally, and this is the one I've been really excited to test out, man, ever since I first discovered this interaction, and this is this Chitinous Thorns Colossus, right? And I've done this fight a couple times now with a couple different champions, and this is the fight where I like actively always find myself with like 99 bleeds on myself, like fairly simply as well, right? So what I want to do here is I want to get to 99 bleeds. I want to toss off a huge special one with Jubilee and see how much the shock damage does against this guy, man. So keep in mind, this is variant 3. So if we look at this, what is it? Overclocked node here. All champions but Tech reduce their base attack by 50%. Alright, so to compensate that just a bit, we are going to boost up a bit just for fun here, because we really want to see some really big numbers on that shock. We just want to have fun with this, man. I mean, also, the thought of using like Horseman Jubilee over Ghost for this fight while I have Ghost on the team is very funny to me. However, man, we're not going to worry about that right now. Alright? We're going to get in there, we're going to shrug off the Suicide Masteries as soon as we can. And then we're going to have some fun. We are going to have some fun. So we're going to just play around with this Colossus a bit. We're going to get him to chain like his special 2s and just really build up that armor, man. And this should be a fun... Right off the bat, look at... Did I not make her a horseman? Did I forget to make her a horseman? I think I forgot to make her a horseman. That's funny. Oh, that might be the clip that goes before the video starts, because that is funny. Alright, so now that she's a horseman, I did click it this time, right? Yeah. That is not gonna happen like that again. Okay, so now that she's a horseman, right off the bat, as you can see, we are gaining so many bleeds, dude. So many bleeds. And the more this guy, you know, uses his special 1, I mean, you guys know how Colossus works, right? Look at the shocks. Oh boy, that is some big boy shock damage, man. Look at all the shocks. Yeah. And they're about to explode, so let's watch this. Oh, dude. Let's put 67 shocks on. Wow. Oh my god, dude. Check this out. Check this out. Look at this. Bro, that is sick. That's so cool, dude. Oh, that's so cool. That was so cool. Okay, that's really, really dope, man. So here's the thing. So this is not an everyday scenario. But like I love things like this. I love things that you could cheese like so hardcore that don't break the game. But you can have so much fun with them, man. And this is what this champion is to me personally, where I like her. I like her in those really, really rare situations. like, here's the thing, she's a good champion on her own. It's just like all of her utility. I wouldn't use her for slow when I have She-Hulk and Stealth Spidey and other slow champions that have easier access to it. I wouldn't use her for ability accuracy reduction or power control when I have Magic or Quake or Archangel, who do all of those things so much better. And for her damage, she has really good damage when the stars align and you get 2 big crits and you go for the special 3 at max prowess and then build up max prowess again and get a big crit on the special 2. Yes, she has great damage in that case, but I can get so much better damage with so many other mutant champions in about a quarter of the time, right? So that's my issue with Jubilee, and that's why I gave her my really extensive review of meh, right? Has a lot of great components, has a lot of great utility that comes in handy occasionally. However, it's just like there are always better options. You know what I mean? That's the thing with her. And the mutant class is so stacked. We can't keep releasing unbelievably incredible champions from, like, you know, the mutant class every 5 seconds, right? That would just be too crazy. So I feel like Jubilee fits in right in like the middle of the mutant class, which makes her a good champion, man. If I got a Jubilee, I might rank her up for fun. I think she's fun to use. I love her animations. I had a lot of fun making this video, man. When there are bleeds, when there are lots of bleeds, I have a lot of fun with this champion. I really do. When there aren't, she's okay. And the fireworks become a little annoying to manage, man. Like, they change on every light and medium. I didn't mess it up once in this video, but at the same time, I had to pay so much more attention to the fight than I usually do. Like, usually I'll be looking up, talking at the camera, blah, 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 blah. Here I have to keep my eye on the fireworks to make sure I click it at the orange one or the blue the one time I want it the slow, right? But anyway, my dudes, that's going to be it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun playing around with her, with all those bleeds. That Colossus fight was just insane. So much fun, man. So much fun. Anyway, my dudes, that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big old like. Comment what you think about Jubilee in the comment section below. And make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of these fun CCP videos coming to you very, very soon. I'll be seeing you around.